Jenna Moreci, I know you got the best hair in author tube, but I'm coming for that crown. What's up, planet Earth? My name is Adrian, and this is Books by Adrian. Right off the bat, my apologies for this video being so late. It was due out last Tuesday. At first it was late because I couldn't find some time or places to record. And then once it was already late, I decided to hold off a bit longer because I just ordered some new equipment, including this lapel mic I'm wearing, which has already significantly improved the sound of my videos. I've also got some lighting equipment coming, some of it stationary, some of it portable, and that should help a great deal. I ordered the new equipment after Jenna Moreci answered a question I presented to her regarding the author platform during her most recent live stream. You can check out that video there. Can you tell I'm new to YouTube? So over the next 2 weeks, you should start to see a significant improvement in the quality of my videos, and I'm especially excited to be getting that lighting equipment. Pretty psyched. Last bit of content I want to touch on briefly here is the April goals and daily schedule posts on my blog. You can find the blog at booksbyadrian.com. There's also a link in the description to the exact post that I am referring to. On that post, I've gone ahead and provided a link to every daily goal met. It's a great post to help you explore the kind of content that I'm putting out. Right now, I'm particularly fond of the character playlists that I just published on my blog. It's a link. It's basically links to 3 different playlists, one for each of my main characters. I'm pretty sure as I was walking out here, a mosquito bit me. I think that's what's going on right there. I just got bit by a mosquito. Awesome. Today's topic is character arcs. Now, because of the topic at hand, I feel the need to remind everyone to really stress this point. This is not a how-to channel. I'm learning as I go, and I'm just kind of sharing what I'm learning and how it is that I am learning it, so that if you are trying to figure out how to do this, you can have some good ideas on where to start. All that said, today's topic has been one of the hardest for me to cover on this channel, because I kept leaning on the 7 turning points that I used to write, which I've already spoken about in a previous video. You can check out that video right there. I suppose I do this because a character's arc is usually contingent on the choices that they make given a particular situation or problem presented. The 7 turning points are all about what those problems are and how they affect the character. So by relying on the 7 turning points to structure my story, I'm also relying on them to structure the character arcs themselves. The choice they make speaks to the reader as to where the character's head is at. And the choice they make is informed by events that we have seen them experience as the readers. The characters are affected by the experience, they're changed by it, and that's where the character arc comes from. They start as one person, and by the end they are changed into someone else. Now, allow me to remind you guys on the 7 turning points, but instead of focusing on story structure in this case, we're going to focus on what this does for the character arc. And I'll use a movie that hopefully most of us have seen, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. First, the setup establishes the status quo for the character. Peter Parker is an awkward, nerdy teenager. The catalyst is the spark that lights the fuse, the event that brings our main character into the plot. A spider bites Peter, giving him incredible spider powers. The big event is the point of no return, the moment where everything changes forever and the main character can no longer choose to bow out of the story. He has no choice but to move forward. Peter acts irresponsibly and selfishly when he allows a thief to get away. This thief kills Uncle Ben. Nothing will ever be the same again. Ben is dead. Peter Parker had great power, and with great power comes great responsibility. He must become Spider-Man. The pinch is action, reaction, cause, effect, ups, downs. It's the back and forth between the main character, the protagonist, a hero, and the villain or antagonist. Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. The crisis. More back and forth, this time culminating in the worst thing that can possibly happen happening. The Green Goblin has discovered Spider-Man's secret identity. He attacks Aunt May and he kidnaps Mary Jane. The worst things that can possibly happen. The showdown is the big fight and the hero's greatest test. Peter must fight the Green Goblin and make a choice. Save Mary Jane or a trailer full of little children. Saving Mary Jane would be the selfish choice because that's someone who is important to him. One person against the many being the children, which would be the heroic choice, the selfless choice. Spider-Man in this showdown chooses to do both because he's a superhero and he has great responsibility. And that responsibility says that he has to at least try to save everyone, regardless of who they are. But there's still a slight twinkle of selfishness in that he dives for Mary Jane first. And finally, the seventh turning point is the realization or the resolution. The character has learned a lesson and they have changed. In this case, Peter does not choose to be with Mary Jane. He does not choose to tell her the truth about what he is. Instead, he chooses the responsible thing, the heroic thing, to keep her at arm's length for her own safety and so that he can continue saving lives, setting aside his own selfish desires. So now that gives us the structure of a story arc. But still, how do you write that? You know, so often I'll listen to an author give advice on the structure of all this stuff. But how do you actually write it? Well, that's when I turn to the writers of the greatest television show of all time, Breaking Bad. Their writer's room had a mantra. Whenever they got Walt painted into a corner or up against a decision he has to make, they always have to ask the question, where's Walt's head at? In other words, what life-altering experiences has he had? How have they affected him? What is currently on his mind? What is troubling him? What is empowering him? Who is Walter White in this moment? And therefore, what would this Walter White do? That's how I'm attempting to write my characters, by constantly taking a step back, analyzing everything they've been through, how they have changed as a result, and therefore who they are in this moment. And that will tell me what decision they will make in order to move forward. Again, what helps me do this is applying those 7 turning points, not just to the entire novel as a whole, but to each individual chapter. So within each chapter, you have a rising and falling action. In each individual chapter, you have a version of that character, the most, currently updated version of that character, going through a little mini arc every single chapter, learning a lesson by the end of it and having changed. It'll be interesting for me to see what kinds of places these characters are going to take me later on in the writing of this novel. Obviously, I have an outline which I am using to guide this journey, so to speak, but with writing each chapter, there's always butterfly effects of these little decisions that the characters make and how that affects the story later on down the road. So I'm very curious to see if where it ends up is where I've planned for it to end up, or if it's going to be different. For today's video, I'd like you to comment down below with a turning point from your own life. Maybe you can think of the catalyst that started you on some sort of an adventure, or a big event that changed everything forever. Or maybe you've hit rock bottom and had a real crisis, something that represents the worst thing that can possibly happen to you. You're the hero of the story. Share your turning points down below. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to comment with your turning point stories. Please visit booksbyadrian.com to sign up for my newsletter. It's on the bottom of the main page. I send out a brand new newsletter once a month, every month. And keep coming right back here to the YouTube channel. I post new videos every Tuesday. Therefore, there's going to be a new video 2 days from today. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, notification bell, comments, the whole 9 yards. And I'll see you guys again in a couple of days.